All right, this is CPM Math 3, problem 1-67, and we're being asked to simplify some exponential expressions. And the first one, right off the bat, has a fraction as an exponent. And it is important to remember when you have fractions that the numerator, if you want to rewrite it in radical form, the numerator is considered the power and the denominator is considered the root or the index. Okay, and I always think of it kind of as flower power. The numerator is like the flower above the ground, and the root is below the ground, so that becomes the index. It's just kind of a memory cue if that helps. So I can rewrite it in radical form. The 27 becomes 27 to the first here, and the root becomes the index. So really we're just talking about the cube root of 27, and because 27 is the same as 3 times 3 times 3, the cube root of 27 is 3. Okay. For part B, we do need to recognize that a power outside of a parentheses applies to every single factor within the parentheses. So this -2 has to apply to the 5. It becomes 5 to the -2. This -2 applies to the x to the 7th. That becomes x to the -14th. And the -2 applies to the y to the -1. So that becomes y squared. All right, so from here we know we can't have negative exponents. So 5 to the -2 goes into the denominator and becomes 5 squared. X to the -14 also goes into the denominator and becomes x to the +14. And the y squared stays in the numerator and becomes, or stays positive. All right, so we end up with y squared over 25x to the 14th. For part C, we have a product of a couple of different exponential expressions. And so we're just going to, because we have two sets of parentheses here, it's just like multiplication. So we're just multiplying. So we can take 3 times 6, we get 18. X to the 9th times x to the -8. Now that is we would add those. So 9 plus -8 is x to the 1st. And then we have y to the -4th and y to the 4th. -4 plus 4 is 0. So it becomes y to the 0. Now technically then we have 18x. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Not 0. Just 1. So that would be 18 times x times 1. We don't have to write the 1, and these are our final answers.